Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you all had a great weekend, a great weekly outlook with Sandile yesterday. I hope you've all had a chance to watch that because that gives us a very good indication of what we're gonna or how we're gonna be looking at the market into the week. So it's important that you watch that webinar as well. Right. So I do apologize for the delay in the start this morning. Earlier on, while we were connected, there was a question by one of the members saying, I know all the analysis, I know how to look at the markets, but I'm still not making money. So I'm not sure what the user's background is. So his profile only just said user. I would have wanted to get a bit more information from him as to the strategy that he's been using and how he's been taking the trades, and just to look at the history of the trades. But essentially, when you trade, it does not matter how good the strategy you're using is, as long as you're not applying the very basic principles of risk management, which we teach on our very first day of the course. You won't make money. You can kill it the one day and the market can kill you the other. So you need that consistency to be making money every single time. Understanding that the strategy, as far as trade execution, is about 68, 70%. Remember, there is that 30% that you still have to manage, and that is where you need to manage the risk, right? So as good as the strategy is, does not mean that when you've got a trade set up, or we post up a trade setup, regardless of how highly probable that setup is, you only take no more than 2% of the trade. So what usually happens is, with a strategy like this that gives you so much confidence, you want to overexpose yourself. So here is some of the so one of the mistakes that we usually make is this one here. Let's just give you one here. On this one specifically, for example, you see that according to our strategy, we wait for the candle to close above the upper boundary of the flag for us to take the trade, provided that the stock and the RSI are confirming that setup. So in this case, we don't necessarily have a new setup to trade. So I'll just leave. I'll leave this one up. So in this one, we don't necessarily have a trade because we've got this one. As much as it goes in the right direction, you will not take this on the 4 hour. Possibly, TISA, you've got a better setup on the 1 hour, so you will not take this one on the 4 hour. So here is something else that usually happens. So let's say you're looking at this one here. Now here we've got a clear 4 hour setup. Okay, we've got a clear 4 hour setup. Let's cut it here. Let's cut it here so we can see what you will be doing here in this case. In this case, look at this. This looks good, right? Looks pretty good. It looks like a very decent trade. But what are you gonna do here in this case? You're looking at this, is at the bottom, RSI nice and above the flag. These are some of the common mistakes. Make note of this because this is where people are losing money. Okay, so you've already broken out of this structure here. You're looking for this you're looking for this to go to the upside. You're looking at the indicators. Everything checks except for one thing. As far as the structure is concerned, the only thing that does not check is that you don't have a 4 hour candle closing above the upper boundary of the flag. But what do some traders do? Because you know that usually a flag will break out, like this one is already broken out. You're already confident of the direction. You take the trade in here. You forget the rules even sometimes. You put in your stop loss. Let's say you put in your stop loss. Maybe you put it in the right structural technical area, but you expose your account. So let's say you take 4%, 6% of this trade. Okay, so let's look at this trade here. And this is what usually happens. This is a practical example of what happens after I'm going to post this. What has happened here? You see this one here. You've already taken the trade. Everything checks. It goes down, possibly hit your stop, or maybe you don't even put a stop. But because you are overexposed, a move like this makes you panic. What do you do then? You exit the trade. You did not follow the rules. That move here did not break out as we expect according to our rules. So you need to follow the rules religiously. Let's play this and see how it plays out. Let me pause. Look at this here. So let's say maybe you even held it here, you let it go back up here, but you see that this is just not going in the right direction. And the problem is you are not able to hold because you are overexposed. So let's have a look here. Let's play this some more. Okay, you see, it looks like it's going down. It's not, It's not giving you any sign of upside now. Let's push this one up here. Now, what happens here is that now you actually have a trade like this here. You actually have a clear three-wave structure on the 4-hour with a 4-hour setup. We wanted it to break out of here, but it didn't. Instead, what we get, you won't really see this on the 4-hour. If we go to the 1-hour, you'll see that there's a clear three-wave structure there that is still setting up. But what happened? We wanted to take it here before it broke to the upside. And the only time that you needed to take this trade is when you've got this closing above the upper boundary of the flag after it has done this. Now, this is the right place, right here, not even this candle, at this candle, because then after that candle, that is the 4-hour candle, that is above the flag. Now, all checks here have confirmed that you can actually take the trade. So do not take a shortcut because you are confident of the strategy. You need to still follow the rules, no matter how confident you are. Let's play the rest of this. So only then this one plays out. I know I'm playing this in hindsight, but this is what usually happens when you're taking the trade, the overconfidence that comes with this, okay? So you need to follow the strategy. You need to position your size correctly. Calculate your position size if you don't know it, if you're not able to calculate it in your head. So use that calculator. You need to know every time when you take a trade, what is the percentage that you're risking? If this trade does not play out, how much am I going to lose? If it's going to play out, how much am I going to make? I think that is the best I can try to answer that question. And usually when you ask the question, I know there are some traders that have, traders that contact us with similar questions. So the first thing is we ask for is we get your trading history, okay? Get us your last 10, 20 trades. Let's analyze it. How were you taking them? What was the reason behind you taking the trade? What was the risk percentage? How are you managing your risk? That's what we look at, because that's all it is. If you're going to be consistent, you need to manage the risk. There's a 30% chance that the market will not play in your favor. So that is the 30% that we need to manage. Okay, guys. So I hope that answers your question. So if you do still experience problems, we are more than open to answer those questions. But if you have attended the course, you know that the first day of the course, that is the one thing that we focus on: risk management and trade management. Okay, so let's get down into the market now. We're going to look at the DXY and the euro. Let's have a look at the charts that we have on the website. So the euro and the DXY, we're waiting for a reversal. We have been in this blue box areas for a while. So this is a 4-hour on the euro. We're looking for this to give us an ending diagonal here before we reverse. So we have been around the blue box area for some time, waiting for a reversal here. As you can see, we've got these 3 waves here on the euro. We're waiting for this to reverse. The blue box is for the bigger structure. We're waiting for a reversal here. So I'm going to go to the daily on the euro. So let's have a look at the euro daily chart. Switch off here. Last week we showed some long-term views on the charts. Let's have a look at the weekly first. So on the weekly, that is the 3-wave structure that we're looking for a reversal at. So we've got this 1, 2, 3. If we are wrong about the direction on this, we're going to have an invalidation at this area. Let's see here if we've got that invalidation area. Let's put on the blue box here. So we'll be looking for this 3-wave structure to reverse from current levels. So we're currently in the blue box. Where we are right now is right into the blue box. So we cannot invalidate that structure until, according to the rules, we invalidate the blue box area. This is where the blue box is. Okay, so we've got our blue box in that area. Our invalidation is going to come in at this area. So if we start trading below 1,618, then we know that that is not going to go in the direction that we're looking for. And it's going to continue to the downside. But this here is also the 50% of this whole move. So we're watching for that. So if you look at the weekly RSI, we are still looking at this. This is actually going down here. It is not giving us any divergence, but there is some divergence on the daily. So if there's only divergence on the daily, it means we may just only get a 3-wave pullback. So the daily is still giving us divergence. That is the divergence on the daily. We are making this move: lower low, a lower high, a higher low. Apologies, a higher low. So that, because it's only happening on the daily, we may just get the move only back to the 50% of this. So we are watching this for confirmation here. We're not trading that until we get clear confirmation. So for now, if you look at the 1 hour, we're simply just looking for this to give us an ending diagonal here, as you can see. Looking for this to pull back, and we get the last wave 5, and then we get a reversal. Okay, so that is the structure that we are looking at on the euro. And I'm now going to go on to the DXY, which is just the inverse of what we're looking at here on the euro. Okay, let's go look at the DXY. Look at the DXY, similar. The DXY, just the inverse of what the euro is doing. So that is where we are with the DXY. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're looking for this one to just, it can be an impulsive move just to complete the last move here, and we look for a reversal there. Let's have a look at this on the 4-hour. Okay, so that is the DXY on the 4-hour, 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we're looking at this one. This one is going up as an impulse. Unlike the euro is going up with a diagonal. This is going up impulsively to that lower degree of purple wave 5 there. Okay, so that's what we have there. Just clear all of this. That's so 1, 2. I'm getting a delay on my annotation. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Impulse. With the euro, it is a diagonal, so it's the same thing. It's 5-wave move. We're just looking for a reversal on both. Right. Let's have a look here on the rest here. Pound US dollar. So look at pound US dollar. I'm on the daily there. Let's have a look at all these charts here on the 1 hour. So pound US dollar, we're looking for this one to give us a reaction to the upside. So if you're looking for the euro to go to reverse, we're obviously going to expect the pound US dollar to give us a pullback as well. Okay, so how is it playing out now? So let's look at it on the 4 hour. So far, if you look at this, and according to the indicator, we're going to get one more down here. So the 3-wave structure, we're looking for a bigger one, but at this stage, we're going to get one more move to the downside here. It's showing us that we're going to get one leg to the downside, then we can get that pullback in 3 waves. That is pound US dollar. Okay. Here's user. If you don't mind, user, I'd like to know who I'm talking to. I don't know if you're able to rename yourself, or if you're able to. Khaled. Okay, great. Right, so Khaled. So can we trigger on when we are in the blue box? On which pair are we looking for? Are we looking at the euro? So the euro, don't take the trade at this stage. Euro DXY, do not buy until we are above 50 on the RSI. Okay, until the RSI is above 50, you're not taking the trade on the euro. Okay, right. So that is pound US dollar. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. So pound US dollar, we've got this move here. We can have this one coming down. We can get this one. We can get this one coming down here, and then we can get that bigger one. Let's see how this one plays out. It's still pretty slow. There's not been much change between yesterday's analysis and how the market is playing out now. So we can get this reaction, but that reaction can come after making this move, one more move to the downside first. Then we can get these 3 waves pullback. All right, that is pound US dollar. Take some of this off. US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, we're looking for this to make a 3-wave structure and then move to the downside. As you can see, that is where we are. We're starting the drop. So any continuation pattern here on US dollar CAD, we look for more downside. This US dollar CAD here, if you can look at it. Right, so that's how it's playing out. So the reversal to the downside after making the 3-wave structure here to the downside. US dollar Chief has made a pullback here. It looks like a 3-wave pullback. We're going to be looking for this to make a continuation to the downside. That's a 3-wave pullback here. In wave 2, we're looking for that to continue to the downside. Let's have a look at US dollar Chief. That is US dollar Chief. Are we going to drop that? That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. We're going to make a move to the downside. We can consolidate from here and we start the move to the downside. Okay. Right. So I hope you have all migrated into the new website. If not, please send the messages in the global chat. We will assist you there. Okay, I'm still using the charts from the old website, but we are updating both websites just for continuity so that if you're still having issues, you at least have access to all the content. Right, so let's continue with this. That is US dollar chief. I want to look at Audi US dollar as well. Audi US dollar. The three-wave pullback on Audi US dollar looks to have already started. Let's look at the 4-hour structure here. So this is what we're expecting here on Audi and move to the upside. Okay, so let's see how far we'll go. So first, we're going to look for it to go at least to the 50%, because at 50%, there's a possibility for one more down. But for now, we've got to move up here, look for a continuation pattern here. In the 1 hour, you can actually take it back to the 50% of the move there. So that is Audi US dollar, and that is the 4-hour. On Audi, we already have that, and we'll be looking for this one to do that. This may not be in the 4-hour. This flag here will not be a 4-hour setup, maybe a 1-hour setup for us to do this. Okay, and any move to the upside here will come whenever that comes. We must have already moved our stop from here to break even if we get a setup. Right now, we don't have a setup yet. We're going to be looking for that to set this one up first before we get a move to the upside. New Zealand US dollar, similar to what the Audi is doing. Could this be now the three-wave structure here on Audi US dollar, and then we start looking for upside? This is a very nice three-wave pullback here. We've got a nice pullback here. We'll look for this one to do this. Also, we're going to need to get this one just back to the 50% before we can get a move to the upside. Whichever happens here, if we take the trade here, we're going to move it to break even at equal legs according to the strategy. Okay, so that is New Zealand. Let's have a look at the actual New Zealand chart on the 4-hour. So there we go. We've got that up here. So we'll be looking for this one to make a move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, looking for more upside on the New Zealand. Okay. Yes, you all have access to the new website. If you have not been migrated as yet, please just drop your message on the global chat and indicate when you joined us. We do have the information, but it's just quicker when you tell us when you have joined and which plan you are on, then we can assist you quicker. Okay, right. So that is all the US dollar pairs. Let's have a look at US dollar ZAR as well. Right, so US dollar ZAR, we're going to move to the upside here with an impulse. There is a move to the downside, 1, 2, 3 here. We're going to see US dollar ZAR continue to the downside, at least back to 15. So we'll be watching this make a three-way structure here. Only after this will we make a decision on the structure that US dollar ZAR is building up. Right, pound yen, guys, I would like us to get only a 4-hour setup. If we get a 4-hour setup on this one, we take it. Okay. We take the 4-hour setup. If you do get it, there's no indication of upside as yet. So if you're getting this 4-hour setup, it means we're still going to see more downside. Okay, and we've got that 4-hour setup currently. Remember, like the example I did explaining how you do not take a shortcut on the strategy. As long as you don't have a clear 4-hour candle closing below the flag, you don't take the trade. And actually, this one is a little bit, it's too small, a correction compared to the rest of the move. So you cannot be taking a small correction like this after it has already made a big move like this. You want something similar in size as this. That is a clear three-wave pullback and a 4-hour setup. Clear three-wave pullback and a 4-hour setup. You need something like this or even bigger for more downside. And just to give you a reminder on pound yen, why this may give us long-term downside is this. So we may have on pound yen reached the end of the bigger corrective structure here as follows. Like this one to be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be the 5 here, and we're looking for this one to start making a move to the downside. And that will be a long-term move to the downside as far as pound yen is concerned. Okay, so that is what we've got there on pound yen. Right. US dollar yen. So US dollar yen on the daily, we are getting a setup for more upside. Remember, we were looking at this one to come down here into the blue box, reversed straight from the blue box. We've got that one here, we've got that. Now we've got a setup here on the 4 hour. Let's look for this setup on the 4 hour after the WXY structure. We've been looking at this for the past 2 weeks to be building. It has now built up, has made that corrective structure. Now you can look for an entry here. If you did not take it from the blue box, let's have a look at the 4 hour setup on US dollar yen. Right, so US dollar yen, do we have a 4 hour setup here? Looks like we do, but again, you need to have a clear 4 hour candle closing above the upper boundary of the flag for you to take the trade to the upside. It's US dollar yen. Right, euro yen, we have been waiting for a reaction from current levels, looking for this to have given us a blue box setup at current levels and give us a reaction to the upside. But the 4 hours still below 50, so we're just monitoring this. The reaction on the euro, we'll be looking for this one to give us, even if this is a three-way pullback back to the 50%, we'll be watching out for that on the euro. Let's have a look at all those pairs on the side here. Yen pairs. So you've already seen pound yen. So pound yen, look for this one to pull back here in 3 waves. Okay, look for a clear 3-wave structure. Those entries that I'll show you are these ones here. If you get this one pulling back up in 3 waves, that is the end of pound yen. You're going to have thousands of pips to the downside. Although we don't trade it, take it in one trade, but we know that the long-term direction on pound yen is downside. So that means every trade set up to the downside on pound yen will be taking that. Okay, euro yen, we've just spoken about this. We'll be looking for a reaction. Also, we're in the blue box here. Let's watch how this comes up here. We need to see if they're going to come up with an impulse or if it's just going to give us 3-wave structures. If they give us 3-wave structures, we know long-term downside. That's euro. Let's look at Chief 1 hour. Also has made a W11 sequence here, 1, 2, 3. Are we going to get this one coming down here and upside? We're looking for that as we're looking at Chief yen as a corrective structure, similar to what we have on euro yen. Remember the video I did last week showing long-term structures on all these pairs. So looking at this, we're still going to get one more down. We may even get this, and this is a continuation pattern. We can get another move here before we see upside. So just monitoring this. This is still short-term downside. There aren't aggressive trades that are playing out or that are looking interesting currently on the yen pairs. Okay, so now this is Audi yen. Audi yen, similarly, we're looking for this one to be making a 3-wave structure here and a move to the upside. So let's have a look at the actual chart here on the Audi yen. Audi yen 4 hour. As you can see here, we're looking for this one to be an expanding flat. It's a very extended expanding flat. We'll be looking for this one to make a reaction higher, as it looks like it's starting now. So wait for a decent setup on Audi yen. That is Audi yen. We've got this on the 4 hour. This is right at the top. We've just breaking out here. So what you want here is to get at least a pullback if you're going to take this one to the upside. New Zealand yen. Same 3-wave structure, looking for a reaction higher. So all the yen pairs are looking for at least a reaction to the upside in the coming sessions. So all we want here is to get decent entries. So we're starting to push above 50 as far as the RSI is concerned. So this we need to get a setup at least on the 1 hour to write this to the upside. CAD yen. That is a corrective structure. Let's have a look at it here. CAD yen. I should have shown them on the 1 hour. So CAD yen also 3-wave structure here. That is a W, that is an X, that is a Y. Blue box reversal, looking for this to give us a reaction to the upside. It's not clear reversals at this stage. We're still waiting for those to confirm for us. All right, gold. Let's have a look at gold for hour. Since breaking out of that corrective structure, we've seen gold rally to the upside. Let's have a look at the current structure. Are we going to see continuation to the upside? It is giving us this corrective structure. 1, 2, looking very nice. If it comes, come back to around this area because we'll look for gold to continue to the upside. So our setup on gold, all of you should have gone to gold after this corrective structure here. After this corrective structure here, even during the live trading room, we looked for this one to be coming into the blue box and pushing to the upside. So here's another opportunity on gold. We look for this one to push to the upside. Let's have a look at gold here. Let's have a look at it. Commodities. Gold for hour. Look for this here. This is where we are. We're looking for gold to even go around 1900. All right, so that's what we're looking at on gold. Silver will be the same. Just consolidating at current levels. You see that this is not a reversal, but just a continuation pattern here. Right, so we're still going to see more upside in silver. Let's show you the structure as well. So that is silver, looking like it's starting an impulse to the upside. We are on this leg here, looking for this continuation to the upside. All right, platinum. Since we've got the blue box trade set up here, we've just been saying platinum when we were here. We just look for platinum to continue to the upside, simply because the rest of the metals were looking upside. So we had this blue box set up here on platinum. The first one we had was here. We eventually got the trade here, the upside. This was the blue box setup from last week. Pushed to the upside when it made a pullback here. It was not a clear connecting structure, but simply because gold and silver were pushing up higher, we expected that to continue up as well in correlation before completing this structure here. That is platinum. We are in consolidation. We still look for more upside. Look at the other side. Look at the stock. That will still push to the upside when the structure is complete. Right, Brent crude oil looks to be making a double. We looked for this one to reverse from this blue box area. That's the reaction we got. Looks like a three-wave structure. We will expect another three-wave structure on oil and continuation to the upside, giving us a WXY corrective structure for more upside. That is oil. Those are the commodities. Let's look at the pound pairs, pound Audi. Wow. So as you can see here, we are building up this B wave here in the purple. This is where we are currently. This can take any form as long as it completes a decent Elliott wave structure that we are familiar with. That's fine. As you can see here, we've got here this three-wave structure. We've now pushed to the downside. So we're looking for this one to continue to the downside, but that continuation can come down in three waves. It comes down in three waves. You can have this one as 3, 3, a pulsing move and downside. So that can be an A, B, C structure. It will be an ABC structure if C is an impulse, but if it is three waves here, that means we've got a WXY as well. Then we'll look for this to continue to the downside. For now, we're looking for this one to come back down here and retest this lows here at 81.1.81. It's pound out, pound New Zealand. Right, let's go to pound New Zealand. Guys, I'll be looking at the charts on the website. It should be okay for now. Apologies for that. Somehow my watch list on TradingView has disappeared, so I'm unable to load these charts here. So we will continue with the charts on the website. Let's have a look at all of those. We were on pound Audi. We were going into pound New Zealand. So pound New Zealand, as you can see, we're still looking for this to be a continuation to the downside, just to continue lower after that small flag. But again, you know that this is a small correction compared to the rest of the move here. You want to get into bigger corrective structures. That's why when we got our setup from here, we will look for this to go to the blue box. We will look for this to go into the blue box and downside. Only when you get something like this can you then take advantage of this move, but you don't want to take short moves like this. You'll be lucky if it just goes down straight, but otherwise you can get a trade there, it just comes back here, and then you get a pullback from there. So you want to get a decent entry from there. That is for pound New Zealand. Let's have a look at pound chief. So pound chief, we're looking for this to continue lower. This has already played out. We've already gone down to around these levels. Then we'll look for this one to make a reversal around that area. Okay, so that is the structure that we looked to play out, and we'll I know this is already played out. We've already seen this one come down to around 23, and we'll look for this to reverse. Okay, so that is what we have there on pound chief. Right, so let's have a look at pound New Zealand. We've gone to pound New Zealand, pound CAD. Pound CAD. Looking for this one to play out the white degree and for this to continue lower. Pound CAD is currently around these levels, Okay, so still gonna continue to the downside. Let's have a look at the euros. Looking at the euro pound, the pound pairs are currently showing weakness. That's why we're looking for this to continue to the upside. That is euro pound, looking for this. So this looks like a wave 4 and one more move to the downside. This is how there's another option here where we're looking at this one to be all of this move and looking for this one to just come and retest this level. That structure is also a possibility wherein we look for this one to be a 3-wave move here and come back up here before we get the start of the move to the upside. That wave 2 maybe here before we get a move to the upside. So for now, any continuation to the upside, as long as we're going to come and retest this level, that is what's going to determine the structure that we're going to stick with on the euro pound. Let's look at the rest of the euro pound, euro pairs. So euro chief, just like pound chief, continues to the downside. We look for this one to be giving us a 3-wave pullback here and a continuation to the downside. We're going to get that reversal. We're looking for that to continue lower still. Right, that is what we have on the euro pound. I need to switch this off, Euro pound, euro chief, euro New Zealand. So euro New Zealand, we're looking for this one to continue lower and give us this 3-wave pullback. Okay, so just watch out for that structure. Just look at that on the 1 hour. So the latest chart from just before. So we've got that 3-wave structure playing out nicely there, and we're looking for this one to continue low. That is euro New Zealand. Euro Audi. Euro Audi, we're looking for this one to have made a 3-wave structure and for a move to the downside to continue. Euro CAD, similar to euro pound. This is a continuation pattern here. We're looking for this one to complete this and then drop before we get a 3-wave pullback, a deeper one. Those are the euros. Let's go to the crosses. Cross pairs, Audi. This is going up as a diagonal, right? So for now, we're looking for this one to be doing this. There's a possibility that we only do this and we come down, but for now we are currently around 400. So we're looking for this one to give us a 3-wave pullback here and another move to the upside. Right, that is Audi New Zealand, Audi CAD on the 4 hour. So Audi CAD, looking for this one to be playing out a red WXY structure to the downside. We've got a pullback here. Let's see if we're going to get the drop here. That drop will be the lower degree. That is a yellow color. So after, that is the red color. So after the red color, we should have a green degree playing out as follows. So this pullback here will be green, and then we look for this to continue lower there. Audi Chief. Looking for this one to still continue to around these levels before any reversals. So this is after this one has made it what looks like a three-way structure here. One, this was one. Skip number. This 1, 2. We're looking for an impulse here, but as you can see, we're already getting this one as a wave 2 correction, but that may be invalidated if we get this pulling back in 3 instead of this going up with an impulse. So watch out for this pullback there on the Euro Chief or the Audi Chief. New Zealand CAD. Right, so New Zealand CAD, in the 4 hour, we're looking for this one to continue lower. So all the pairs that have got a CAD in them are currently bearish. As you've seen with the US dollar CAD, we also focusing downside. New Zealand Chief. Right, so New Zealand Chief looking for this one to continue to the downside, giving us this one as a three-way structure first to get around these levels. And then CAD Chief. CAD Chief 1, 2, 3. This one is coming down impulsively. If we do get this one pulling back up here in 3, that's going to invalidate the expectation for an impulsive move to the upside. Right, so let's try to access the cryptocurrencies on the new website. First, let's look at the indices, S&P 500. Doesn't want to load us yet. Let's try another one. Right, so that is, let's have a look here. Let's give up to know why that chart did not want to load on the S&P 500. Right, so let's have a look at the indices, S&P 500. Much better. Right, so that's the S&P 500. So looking for this to continue to the upside. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. Looking for continuation to the upside, and then let's have a look at the London. It will be current. Any continuation pattern, as you can see there, we're looking for this one to continue pushing to the upside. All right. So New York will be updated later. So you see how the chart looks there. Right. So let's have a look at the rest of the indices. That was the S&P 500. Let's look at NASDAQ. I'm looking at only the London charts right now. So this is the NASDAQ pulling back here, looking for continuation to the upside. Do apologize, guys, for I'm not sure what's going on with TradingView, or if I'm just illiterate somehow, so I'm not getting it right. We'll try to sort this one out afterwards. But as far as the indices are concerned, we are bullish. Any pullback in the 4-hour or the 1 hour is an opportunity to continue riding it to the top. So these are the 1 hour. This is the London 1 hour chart, looking for this to continue to the upside. Those pullbacks that you're seeing are nothing but continuation to the upside. Right, so that is the S&P 500. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to jump into the cryptocurrencies. The theme is all similar. So let's have a look at the cryptocurrencies. Look at Bitcoin. Right, Bitcoin is currently trading at about 66,000. Any pullback here on Bitcoin here, we're looking for this to continue to the upside. Okay, we're looking for Bitcoin to push up higher. Initially, we looked for this one to come around this level. Remember, we're comparing Bitcoin structure with that of Solana. Solana did exactly the same structure as Bitcoin, came and traded around these levels, made a pullback in 3 waves and pushed to the upside. So Bitcoin, this is the all-time highs at 67,000 and currently at 66. We should see Bitcoin continue pushing to the upside. Right, so that is what we have there on Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart if you want. We've already retested the previous highs at 67,000. We're pulling back as expected and we're looking for more upside as far as Bitcoin is concerned. Look at this 5-wave structure still in play. Okay, so there was a possibility that this would be a wave 4. The wave 4 can play out like this, but we saw that with Solana, that did not happen. So it just went up in a straight line. That's why the expectation on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies was that they are all just going to be bullish. Right, so that is cryptocurrencies, that was Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, similar to Bitcoin, that pullback, we're looking for it to be bullish. Ethereum currently trading at about 4,700, almost to the all-time highs. We're looking for a continuation to the upside as far as Ethereum is concerned. All bullish on Ethereum and the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Right, let's have a look at Ripple. Litecoin first, but you'll see that the theme is all similar. This is Litecoin, 1, 2, 3, looking for this to continue pushing to the upside. Litecoin currently trading at about 273, looking for this to continue to the upside. Very close to the all-time highs on Litecoin as well. Ripple at about 120, but also looking pretty bullish. Let's have a look at Ripple. Ripple, there we go. Right, so that is Ripple. We're currently here. We're currently around these levels here, looking for this one to continue pushing to the upside there. So Ripple currently at about 120, looking very bullish. Right, so I'm not going to go through the rest that are not listed here because unfortunately my playlist has disappeared. So do apologize for that, guys. We'll try and figure out what happened and try and get that one sorted. Thank you very much for watching. LTA starting in 20 minutes. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.